Coming up on Mustang Corner, we talk to Wichita Theater President Dwayne Jackson. Jackson will talk to us about the theater's new dinner stage, as well as the production of Hello, Dolly in downtown's Shop the Block. All this and more coming up. Welcome to this edition of Mustang Corner. I'm Morgan Hare. Today we have with us Dwayne Jackson, president of the Wichita Theater. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we brought you in to talk about the new edition of the theater, as well as the upcoming productions in the 2018 season. But first, we'd like to ask you a little bit of the background about the Wichita Theater.
Well, the Wichita Theater was built originally in 1908 as the Wichita Falls Opera House. It was a magnificent facility, and then in the mid-20s, when the new big Memorial Auditorium was built, the Wichita Theater kind of went dormant, and when the talkie movies came out in the late 30s, Interstate Theaters bought it, renovated into the Art Deco look that we have today, and that's where its history was. And we acquired the theater back in 1995. Brought it back to life, and are still working at it today.
That's awesome. So y'all just opened Hello, Dolly on y'all's main stage this past weekend.
Yeah, we did. It was an exciting show, and it's a big show. And I think you are sporting something that we have, don't we?
Yes. So
take a look.
This is the Hello, Dolly shirt that we have on the back.
It looks good. It looks good on you.
Yeah, it looks good. Thank you so much for the shirt.
Sorry to all the cameramen, we didn't bring one for all of you guys.
Okay, so how did y'all get a veteran Broadway performer for this production?
Oh, I tell you, it was an opportunity we couldn't pass up. Susan Manser-Barr, who was graduated from Wichita Falls High School right here in Wichita Falls. Our director, Chance Harmon, who works really close with the different arts groups in town and the schools, he just popped it out to her one day when he saw her here in town. She's semi-retired, I guess, and said, "What would you think about doing?" And we had to go through a lot of red tape to get her involved in a nonprofit community theater, but pulled that off with the equity group. And she said, "It takes a lot of work to do this with you guys." And so she's learned a lot about how community theater works, but she's been really great to work with. And so it's a different experience for all the cast, the crew, to work with somebody that has had the credits that Susan has had.
Yeah, I bet. That's so great. And how many more weekends will the show be running?
We've got 2 more weekends officially. If audiences are good, we might consider a holdover. We've got a spot for it if necessary. But we've got officially this weekend and one more next weekend with 3 shows a weekend: Friday night, a matinee on Saturday, and Saturday night show.
That's great. And what other shows do y'all have coming up this season?
We, when that's gone, we will then, we just cast Mary Poppins, Disney's Mary Poppins, which will fly in late June. We're bringing back a show that we did a couple of years ago called Tale of Two Cities, the Dickens version. It's a musical that opened on Broadway and is an incredible show, probably the biggest, most powerful show we've ever done. And then we've got High School Musical for the kids we're bringing back. And then we'll close out the season with our North Texas Rising musical, which is the history of North Texas as we have recreated that history on stage in musical form. And we'll close out the season with Cinderella in her magic castle, and as the whole complex converts to a castle for Christmas, with tea parties with Cinderella previous to the show.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
It's going to be it's a fun year.
Yeah, that's a lot of great shows.
Yeah.
So you're a member of Shop the Block. What exactly does that mean about downtown business?
Well, we started an initiative a few years ago called Shop the Block. It's kind of fallen to the wayside a little bit, but the idea of it was to make available an intentional way to market downtown. The area that is being concentrated on by all the development is in that central block area. And so it was a desire to see people to focus. Unfortunately, downtown Wichita Falls spreads over. It's kind of like MSU. There's not a central point. It's just grown. And so it was the opportunity to focus in one, not a small area, but at least in one geographic area.
That's so great, especially with downtown growing, as you said.
It is.
That is awesome opportunity.
It's an exciting time to be downtown.
Absolutely. So later this week, y'all are opening something really exciting. Yeah?
It's been a vision and a dream for 12 years. 12 years ago, we had this idea. We even had the building. We bought the building, but we just found it to not be the right time to do it. And so we sold the building. We got it back from an unfortunate set of circumstances for the others. We got it back in the first part of last year and decided, what are we going to do with it? And we said, why don't we just continue on with the idea we had 12 years ago? So we are rapidly coming to a close of the construction, and we're going to be opening, if we don't get any sleep between now and Thursday night, we are going to be opening Thursday night.
Yes, and could you explain a little bit about what exactly this grand idea is?
This grand idea is a brand new dinner stage that will seat approximately 115 people. There are what we call family style row dining. There's tables for 4, tables for 2. We have a party deck, which will allow for groups of 5 or more to come and sit together. And it's all in the intimacy of one of the old historic buildings downtown, that every seat's a good seat. We are primarily doing our murder mysteries as our major product. We'll do 4 or 5 of those a year, and then we're going to interject some creative shows. We've got next weekend we have a show called Mystique the musical. Let's track that. Mystique. It's a magical illusionist type of show. I'm so used to saying musical. So, so that's a show that we're co-producing with Ron Wilson, a local magician and illusionist, and we'll do a lot of creative things.
Yeah, that sounds so great.
And great dinner that will be served. We've hired a chef. We've got with our own kitchen off-site that will be preparing gourmet food. So it'll be a new place to be.
That's amazing. What do you hope that this new stage will bring for Wichita Theater?
Well, for us, it's nothing different than just another stage. It gives us another opportunity to give our actors a chance to do something different. Our main stage at the Wichita Theater is primarily we do mostly musicals. The dinner stage gives those opportunities to those that are not vocalists, and for the audience members that don't necessarily care to sit through a musical. And I never could imagine there are people out there like that, but there are. And so, but it will add a unique element. Wichita Falls is fortunate now, once that we're open, to have 3 theaters in downtown, and that's just unheard of. And a lot of people wonder, is there enough business? But to support 3. And Backdoor's business has picked up, ours has picked up, and all of us are beginning to attract people from Amarillo, Dallas, Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, coming into Wichita Falls to take in our arts scene. So we're cautiously optimistic, is our words.
Absolutely. Now, where do you hope the theater to be in 10 years?
In 10 years, well, hopefully we're selling seats double what we are today. Our real motivation, we tell people all the time that we are more about the entertainment world using the arts. And the more that we can draw people in from the entertainment end, the more opportunities we're going to have in the arts and for the people that want to participate. Right now, we run through probably 200 to 220 actors a year getting opportunities. And so many of them would have never stepped on a stage. We've got moms that have been stay-at-home moms, and finally the kids are old enough that they can go and be a part. We've got families that come to be a part themselves, mom and dad and the kids all on stage together. And so I think with where downtown is going, we've got 850 seats, and I fully expect in 10 years we'll be running shows longer and selling 400 or 500 of those seats every night.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. That's
Absolutely.
all the time we have left. We really appreciate you coming in and telling us all about Wichita Theater.
You betcha. Come see us.
Yes, absolutely. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at MNG Media and like us on Facebook. Join us next time for another look into the Wichita Falls community. For Mustang's Corner, I'm Morgan Hare.